Okay. Everybody wants to know if I'm still doing carnivore, and I am not. Good morning, my loves. My name is Christina, and welcome to Casually Christina. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why I am no longer on the carnivore diet.
On the carnivore diet, you're going to find yourself eating a lot of red meat.
The best carnivore bread you will ever make.
46 on a carnivore diet.
The carnivore diet for 6.5 months.
Y'all know that I've been doing carnivore diet.
7 weeks on carnivore and still going strong.
A 43 on the carnivore diet.
I'm going to be telling you guys how long I made it.
Okay, so I am finishing up day 3. It is almost 9 o'clock at night of the carnivore diet, and I hate it.
I'm going to be telling y'all about my husband, who, guess what? Spoiler alert, is on the carnivore diet. I am not, and he is. I'm going to be talking about the differences in our experiences. He's going to tell you the difference in his experience, and also we'll talk about what he saw me go through. We are going to talk about what I have learned, because I can tell y'all now that the carnivore diet did in fact change my life in a lot of positive ways in just such a short period of time. I really learned a lot about my body. There are things that I still implement to this day that I learned while I was on the carnivore diet, and we're gonna go over all that stuff. So yeah, before we get into it though, I did wanna let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a main channel, which is Christina Randall. Over there I talk about true crime, current events, stuff like that. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there we just talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. And there's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. Just make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and I'm also on Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of things that you guys ask about, that I use, that I love. Everything from makeup, skincare, clothing items, hair care, workout gear, furniture. Like this chair is linked over there, y'all. I love this chair. All kinds of stuff that y'all ask about or that I want to link over there, I do. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So thank God we are here. I know y'all been blowing me up. Y'all, thank y'all for being patient with me. We went on vacation. Really good. Ew.
One drop or two. Would you like another one? Oh, there you go.
Nobody's drinking that for you.
And I was expecting to have this video out before we went on vacation, but I didn't. We actually went to Japan for 2 weeks, and I ate all kinds of stuff there, and I cannot wait to show y'all. And honestly, it's been killing me over on Instagram too. For those of y'all that are over on my Instagram and y'all talk to me or see me via my stories, I have been hiding what I've been eating because I didn't want to ruin the surprise for y'all and let y'all know where I'm at. So here we are, surprise. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I am no longer on the carnivore diet. How long did I make it? So y'all know originally it was for 30 days, okay? If you guys have not watched the series, there's a 4-part series out where I take y'all through literally every single day for 30 days, how I'm feeling, what I was eating, all of that stuff. I made it 6 weeks. I mean, all day long, I've been thinking, yes, it's over. I can eat my bagel that I love to have in the morning. So I went past the 30 days. I went to 6 weeks, and then I stopped. And there are reasons why I stopped. I was having some issues that I actually started having even while I was filming, but I didn't mention them.
Today is the day that I'm going to be eating carbs. My sleep has suffered. 4:30 a.m. again. Another 5.5 hours of sleep, and I'm so over it.
I'm gonna show y'all clips. I didn't add them into the videos because I did not know if it was my diet or if it was something else. And finally, I realized that these issues were stemming from me eating just carnivore. And so I was researching, I found out some stuff, and those issues have gone away, but we're gonna talk about that. So let's just start with the fact that I went for 6 weeks. My husband went longer. He did take a break while we were on vacation because, again, we went to Japan and he was gonna eat all the mochi and all the stuff and enjoy himself there. And that's exactly what he did. And when we came back from Japan, he went right back on the carnivore diet. Now, I want to remind y'all that me and my husband have 2 very different body types. We have 2 different activity levels. We have 2 different sets of hormones. We have two different body fat percentages, and I had one experience with carnivore and he had a totally other experience. He had a great experience. I had some issues. So the first thing I want to talk about with my issues is dehydration. I could not stay hydrated and I tried everything. The very first week I filmed and told y'all that my tongue felt like it was swollen. I feel like I'm so dehydrated, like even with me talking, I feel like my tongue is swollen and I'm drinking water constantly, but I'm also urinating constantly. The part that I cut out of that editing because I did not know if it was sauna, if it was diet related, if it was something else, is I actually went and got IV fluids. So there's a little place right up the road here, and we also have a friend that owns a mobile IV fluid business where they'll come to your house and give you fluids. So I got some IV fluids because I felt dehydrated. Okay, so I got my fluids, and believe it or not, I feel like I'm even more tired as of right now, probably because I just sat still in a chair for over an hour while they gave them to me. As you can see right here, I got my fluids. I ended up getting IV fluids twice in the 30 days. I was drinking electrolytes. These electrolytes right here, this is my Amazon history. As you can see, I ordered 3 boxes, okay? They're very expensive. I wanna say, if I can remember off the top of my head, they're like $44 a box. I was drinking at least 2 of these a day, which has 1,000 milligrams of sodium in them, okay? I was drinking lots of water to the point that then I said, well, maybe I'm drinking too much water and I'm washing out my electrolytes. So I was drinking less water. I started taking potassium. I started taking magnesium. I was doing all of these things to stay hydrated and I could not stay hydrated. I felt dehydrated all the time. My muscles started cramping up. I started having Charlie horses in the middle of the night. I started having Charlie horses in my abs, you guys. Literally, there was multiple times where I bent down to pick something up and my abs started to seize. And I'm like, I have never had a Charlie horse in my abs in my entire life. One time I was sitting in the truck, Jeremy's in the back seat. Jeremy's in the driver's seat. Jaden's in the back seat, and I'm sitting there talking to them, and I just started having this Charlie horse in my ab. I pulled my shirt up, and they could literally see my abs, my 2 top abs, poking out because they were like cramped up. And you guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but my body, with everything that I did, magnesium, potassium, getting IV fluids twice in 1 month, which is expensive, not something that I could keep up with or normal people or whatever would be able to do to stay on this diet if they're having the same issues. Drinking multiple of those packs of electrolytes every day, salting all of my food with Redmond's real salt. Y'all didn't see that because I didn't show every little thing. I salted everything with Redmond's real salt, and then I would put finishing salt on it, and the water was flowing through me. And I think with full-blown carnivore, I feel great this morning. I have energy. I am excited to be able to get back in the sauna. I'm not going to get in the sauna today. I want to give myself more time to have more carbs and make sure I'm good and hydrated, because that is something that I found while I was on the carnivore diet. My husband didn't have this issue, but I did. I felt like everything that I drank just ran straight through me. Even when I got in the sauna, when I've been on carnivore, I did not sweat nowhere near what I typically sweat, which tells me it's just my body just wasn't holding on to the fluids, and that's totally fine. But I enjoy getting in the sauna, and I want to get in the sauna. There was one day, and I hate weighing myself, but I did it for this challenge and everything. But there was one day that just to show like what I was feeling, I weighed myself in the morning, okay, first thing, and then a few hours later, after I went to the bathroom a few times, number 1, because y'all know I was barely going number 2, probably because I was dehydrated and the water wouldn't go in to push everything out. The scale showed that I lost 2 pounds just from urinating in the same exact day. Obviously, I'm not losing 2 pounds of fat. I could not hold on to hydration. And my husband was not having that same issue. Now, I do want to bring up a couple things with that, okay? I'm an active person. I've already told you this. So this is an example of how much I sweat, and it is only May. This is my morning workout. By the way, it's 8:04 a.m. So I've been working out at 7 a.m. basically in May. It's not even June, July, August. some of our hottest months of the year. And like, this is how much sweat. As you can see, it's all the way down my butt. So I sweat a lot and I need to be able to be hydrated. This shows you I'm obviously hydrated. If you look at my vein, it's still popping because I'm still hydrated. And when I was eating carnivore, I could not stay hydrated for some reason. I just don't know what it is about my body type. Oh, I completely stopped the sauna. I remember, if y'all watched my videos, y'all heard me say, I think I'm gonna move down to only doing the sauna a couple days a week. By week 2.5, I completely stopped the sauna because I was trying to figure out, was it something that I was doing? But I went all the way to 6 weeks and I was still having these issues with staying hydrated. My husband was at the hunting camp at some point and he was talking to one of his buddies out there and told him that he was doing the carnivore diet. His buddy told him, hey, I tried the carnivore diet, but I just stayed dehydrated the whole time. I couldn't stay hydrated. And his buddy owns like a lawn care business, so he's working outside sweating all the time. And Jeremy kind of thought that was, wow, you can't stay hydrated. Like, wow, that seems crazy, until he started seeing me go through it. And then he was like, wait a minute, my wife is having this issue. My husband wasn't having that issue though. I was having the issue. I don't know if it's body fat percentage difference. I don't know if it's activity, level difference. My husband works outside and look, he sweats a lot. Now, during the summertime, he will get dehydrated as well. He's gotten IV fluids before because his hands will start cramping up. So I don't know how the carnivore diet is going to work for him during the summer, because here in Florida, we sweat a lot, but we're taking it one day at a time, or he's taking it one day at a time, and we'll see. But that was a major issue that I had. By week 3, another issue that I had, I started waking up at 3 a.m., bing, wide awake, like clockwork, you guys. And we're not talking about, waking up and going to the bathroom. I was waking up like I would lay in the bed and toss and turn and toss and turn, and my mind was wired, wide awake. I could not, and again, I did not mention it in the carnivore videos because I didn't think, like, how could me eating carnivore be what's waking me up? So I started switching to like the decaf. I was drinking decaf as my second cup of coffee. I was thinking, well, maybe because of me not having carbs, maybe the caffeine is too much and it's coming back into my system. I was trying to make sense of what was going on in my body. And then I started researching as much as I could. This is when I found this woman here on YouTube named Stephanie. And by the way, this woman is in her 50s and baby, she looks good. Do you hear me? She looks good. She's like a skater and she got it going on. Anyways, she started talking about carnivore and she was talking about needing to be really high fat, like 80% fat in carnivore. And that's where y'all see me in week 4 say, I'm going to do an experiment and go to eating higher fat. I want to just see, I was trying to see if the carnivore was what was affecting my sleep and adding in all this extra fat. However, it did not help my sleep. This lady, Stephanie, said something that made a lot of sense. She says,
no keto adaptation. And when you're not in ketosis and your glycogen storages are depleted, your body has a stress response. And it goes into gluconeogenesis specifically to break down protein, convert it into sugar, and try to stabilize a lowered blood sugar. But insulin is not working the way it should be. So you're over-secreting insulin. The cells are not letting glucose in. And glucagon hits the floor. Blood sugar up, insulin over-secretion, blood sugar slams to the floor, and you can't get glucagon back up. And now your body's like, emergency! Wake up, let's really blast the adrenal system and raise your blood sugar up somehow. And then you wake up.
Wow. 0.01. It's so crazy to me. Not a single carb, not a sugar, nothing. It's probably because I had way too much protein yesterday.
Something to the effect, and I'm putting this in layman's terms or in my own words, you guys can go and watch her videos if you want to know exactly what she said. But the way that I received it is some people, when they're having all this protein and no other carb source being just vegetables or fruits, they turn that extra protein into carbohydrates, which, mind you, another little side note, I was only in ketosis for that like 6 weeks twice. Jeremy, after day 2, was in ketosis the whole time. Morning, noon, and night, ketosis. For whatever reason, I wasn't in ketosis. I didn't really think too much of it. I thought it was weird because I'm like, I'm eating literally 0 carbs. Even when I went up to that really high fat, like, why am I not in ketosis? I believe, just like Stephanie said, I believe my body was turning the extra protein into carbohydrates, but who really knows what it was? Whatever. But she said that it shoots your cortisol level up, or insulin or something like that, in the middle of the night, and you'll start waking up at 3 a.m. And that's exactly what was happening to me. At 3 a.m., I was wide awake. Bing! So I upped my fat to see if it would help. None of it would help. And finally, at 6 weeks, I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I need a bagel. I need a carb or something. I'm dehydrated. I can't sleep. Why am I doing this to myself? Like, I felt great before. I did it with my husband. I'm so glad that I did, because even looking back, I do not believe that he would have stuck it out if I wasn't sticking it out with him. But now he's a bit on a roll. Now, I do want to say I still eat carnivore meals. Like at nighttime with him and stuff, like a lot of the times we'll just have steak together, or steak and eggs still to this day. So if y'all have seen me in the past couple months post on Instagram me eating steak and eggs, that is me eating a carnivore meal, but I probably had a bagel for breakfast, honey, or a baked potato for lunch. So that is what it is. I also would like to just show y'all, when I talk about, I know my body, okay? Now, when I was going through this, I did not know if it was carnivore diet, because all I saw was everybody online talking about how wonderful it is and it changed their lives and all that. And I'm thinking, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not eating enough fat. I'm not eating enough salt. I'm not taking enough electrolytes. Maybe I need potassium. So now I'm taking potassium. Now I'm taking magnesium. I'm doing all this stuff, and my husband's doing none of this stuff. And like, what is wrong with me? But as you can see, this is me fully sweaty in the morning. And then some days after that, I'm getting in the sauna afterwards, and I'm not having any of these issues anymore. I'm not cramping up. I haven't had a single Charlie horse since I came off of carnivore. Now, I know y'all probably have a lot of questions about how my first meal was. I did film that, and I also filmed like some of the things that I ate in Japan because I was eating. And by the way, spoiler alert, when I came back from Japan, I was still lean.
For anybody that's curious, this is my after vacay body. I'm pretty tight because I just ate lunch and I had breakfast a few hours ago, so I got some food in my belly. But yeah, gonna get on the plane and eat again.
And I weighed myself after Japan just so I could show y'all, and I actually weighed the same exact amount as I weighed when I quit the carnivore diet as when I came back from Japan. It's not about weight, but because I know people are interested in those types of things, I'm putting it out there. Now, some of the things that I learned. The first thing that I learned is that fats. I have significantly upped my fats in my life now, and I will forever eat more fats. Like, and I'm not talking about adding a little bit of avocado to a salad or, you know, whatever. Like my smoothies that I make in the mornings now, I used to put bananas in them. I put frozen avocados in them now, which is actually even better tasting. Because when I put bananas in a smoothie, it gives your smoothie a banana taste no matter what the flavor is you're going for. If you put frozen avocados in your smoothie, you're gonna get whatever flavor you're wanting, whether it be a chocolate smoothie or a vanilla smoothie or anything like that. If y'all wanna see smoothie recipes, let me know, because I did film my most favorite for y'all and it's ready to go. So let me know if y'all wanna see it. But fats, I have significantly upped my fats, even to the point where If I don't feel like I've had enough fat in a day, I will add butter to my tea or even eat butter. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? I was literally looking at people, even for the most of the time when I was on carnivore, I would see these girls online eating sticks of butter and I'm like, ew. I had the butter at home. What is it? The Kerry Gold butter. And I would taste it and I'm like, what are these girls? Why are they eating this? This doesn't taste good. Until I tried a different type of butter. This butter right here, truly, honey, you put a little salt on that, that junk is delicious. So although now I still am getting the majority of my fats from eggs, steak, avocados, stuff like that, if I need to bring my fats up during the day or I feel like I haven't had enough fats, peanut butter, I love peanut butter, it's my absolute favorite. I will indeed add a little sliver of butter to my hot tea, make it nice and creamy and drink it. And yeah, fats. I just cannot believe too. It's like how long in our lives, especially if you're like my age, around my age or maybe older, we were like fats were demonized, like fat-free everything. And don't get me wrong, I still eat fat-free stuff. I love fat-free stuff. I love my fat-free yogurt and I love my whole fat yogurt. But like fats were so demonized, especially us all growing up. And it's like, wow, they're really not the enemy. They are so good for our hormones, our skin. I feel like it could be all in my head, but I feel like my skin even looks better from adding more healthy fats into my diet. So I'm a full believer now. I will always be eating more healthy fats. Me and my husband both learned that we can be totally satisfied with a dinner of just steak and eggs. We don't need a potato and broccoli and all these things for years that I've cooked.
Well, you know, for me, I have a problem with paying attention to my biofeedback.
He does.
I
have to
wanna
ask him
sit
questions
down and eat.
How do you feel?
Get full, and I'm on to the next.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time recognizing different things, but I do know that one thing I did recognize is the chicken. The chicken does not last as far as satiation goes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It's great, it's delicious, and it's a good, treat to eat. But the steak, the ribeye, the fat, it does sustain you a lot longer. And I would have meals that 3-course meal with like you were talking about, with the veggies and the steak and potatoes. And, you get stuff, you stop eating. Most of the time I don't finish my steak anyways. And then 2 to 3 hours later, I'm hungry again, ready to snack. And I noticed majorly when I was just focusing on eating meat that I had less cravings to snack.
Yeah.
That's a big difference that I've noticed.
Also, I personally have been very careful with veggies since coming back to eating my regular way or the standard American diet or whatever you would call it. Things like broccoli, man, they really tear me up. And after being on carnivore and not having a single bit of bloating, I realized that's how I want to live my life. Like for so many years, I had so much painful bloating at nighttime or depending on what I ate. And I just thought that that was a normal part of life. I just thought that that's what happens when you eat. You get bloated at nighttime and whatever, until I went carnivore and I realized, oh, wait a minute. This is actually not normal. I don't have to live like this, because I would eat so much food, and I showed y'all in the videos, even if I was stuffed full, I did not have painful bloating. And so now I haven't had a bite of broccoli in so long. I'm honestly a little scared of it in a way. I had some pickles after I went back to eating normal, and man, they had me so bloated, and it was just little mini pickles.
Oh my gosh, you guys, just from eating a few of these like cocktail pickle things, I am so bloated instantly. And I think I told y'all in one of the weeks that I can get really bloated. I'm here instantly, just from some Wickles. Look at this. Look at this, you guys. I am so bloated from those Wickles. Oh my gosh. It hurts so bad. Like, how did that happen that quick?
Now let's get to Jeremy and him being back on it. Do you want to talk about why you are back on carnivore?
Well, I mean, I didn't decide coming back from Japan. I kind of knew that what I was going to do even before I went to Japan. And the whole reason that I even decided to start the carnivore diet was because of health issues. You know, they want to remove my gallbladder, and you know, I feel like before I just have an organ removed, that I should try other options to see just what happens. I mean, you know, the doctor's saying it's not a rush, you don't have to do it right this second, but it needs to come out. Well, if it's not a rush, it's kind of like a second opinion. I'm going to try something different. Changing my diet is probably the most drastic thing I've ever done in my life, because I like what I like. So if I could do it and I save an organ, I don't have to get rid of it, and my health improves, then it would all be worth it.
Let me give y'all a very snippet. This is the very short version. Years ago, me and Jeremy went to go and get life insurance. Well, if you don't know, when you go to get life insurance, they want to make sure that they're putting money behind somebody that they're expecting to live, because they obviously want to make their money and they don't want to pay out. So in order to get life insurance, we had to go through these physicals, all this blood work,
Medical history.
Whole medical history, talking to whatever doctor that you have, and they go through everything. Well, he went to go and have his blood work and all of that stuff, and they denied him life insurance, a 20-year plan. I got accepted, and I got mine, but they denied him. And that kind of to us was like, wait a minute, they won't even bet. It's not even like they said, you got to pay this drastic amount of money. Like, right, you got to pay $2,000 a month. They said flat out, no, we will not insure him, which basically says they will not bet that he's going to live 20 years. And that's when we were like, oh crap. So he has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. If you guys don't know, he doesn't drink, I don't drink, you know, and so, but he has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Well, he went in to go get an ultrasound for his fatty liver, and that's where they saw the issues with his gallbladder. They want to remove the gallbladder. The doctor tells them, you're going to have no side effects. And I'm like, this doesn't sound right. Like, something about that. Everything has a side effect. Like, everything has a side effect, but, you know, whatever. He literally is dressed out for surgery. Me and his mom is at the hospital. I'll pop a picture up right here. Ready for surgery. We're there all day long. This was back in December. And the doctors come in and say, the robot's not working. There's issues, We're going to have to reschedule you. So they rescheduled him for the following month and for January. And then they called and rescheduled him again. So they kept like dragging it out. And by this time, Jeremy's like researching, and he's like, if we're going to keep dragging it out, I might as well try to do something, because we both knew that if he had his gallbladder removed, and that was just the first step to start working on his liver issues, because they had to they said they needed to fix the gallbladder before they could even think about the liver. He knew that if he has his gallbladder out, his diet's going to change anyways. It is, yeah. Because you can't just eat and do the same things when your gallbladder's out. It's going to change your life. So why not him try to change his life first? And so at first his doctor was not on board with this. But after he was on carnivore for about 8 weeks, he went back with his blood work, and his doctor was like, whoa, like all your numbers have improved. And he was talking to his doctor, and he's like, listen, this is what I'm doing. I know you referred me to the surgeon to have the gallbladder removed. He told him everything that happened, and he said, if I can reverse this and get this fixed myself, then I want to do it. And the doctor heard him and wrote him a referral for 6 months to have another ultrasound. So that's why Jeremy's back on, because he wants to do this for 6 months, have another ultrasound on his gallbladder to see if there's any improvement. Now, maybe there'll be a little bit of improvement, or maybe it just won't have progressed, because he does have, according to the gallbladder doctor, because they refer him out, polyps and stones, which he said the combination of the two can be a precursor.
Yeah, and it's not just the combination of the two, it was also the polyp size. So the polyps were 5 or 7 millimeters. And because I have those at that size and the stones, that I'm in a higher category for getting gallbladder cancer. And then once you find out you have it, it's too late. It's that fast growing.
Yeah.
So that's why they want to take my gallbladder out. So we didn't even get to the main issue of the ultrasound to begin with, which was the liver, because the gallbladder to them seemed more alarming. So they wanted to address that first. And then after the recuperation process, then we'll start looking at the liver.
Yep.
And the research shows, says that it's possible that I could reverse both at the same time with just a change in diet. And I knew, like subconsciously in the back of my head, the choices that I make for my diet is going to eventually catch up with me. Let alone just not drinking a lot of water, but the candy and the sweets, and couple that with having like my main dish be dinner, not eating lunch, not eating breakfast. It was poor diet choices to begin with.
Eating like a teenager.
Yeah, basically. And it was going to catch up to me eventually. I needed to do something.
Y'all, I'd be taking candy, hiding it, throwing it out, like, and he will go to look for something and be mad, huh?
Like, where did my Reese's go?
Like, and listen, if y'all think, I would meal prep for him. I'll do anything to help him. Y'all just don't even understand. But, he likes what he likes. And I also, want him to be happy too. But I also want him to be alive. And I want him to be here. And I want him to be in good health. And so.
Yeah, and the non-alcoholic fatty liver has been like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted that ultrasound done over 10 years ago. And my thought process, I was traveling for work. So I was constantly eating fast food, quick and easy meals, traveling all the time. And I wasn't feeling bad. I didn't have any pain. To me, it's irrelevant. It's like in the background. Yeah, you're saying I have liver issues, but I don't feel any different. So I put it off. And, the health insurance thing, life insurance thing is like, whoa.
That's
so you're going all the way back to this unresolved issue from my original doctor saying get an ultrasound, and I never followed up, is now biting me in the rear end. Like, okay, let me go get an ultrasound, get it finished, and then that's when the whole, like, we need to yank out your organ came from.
But there's not much when he traveled for work for years, and there's not much he can do about it, living out of hotels. I mean, there's times that he's flying, and I'm sure a lot of y'all know this, either you travel like this or your partner travels like this. He's on a plane every other day to a new place, doing something.
Sometimes I'm in 2 different states in the same day.
Yeah, and so it's not like he can sit there and cook something healthy. He's, so anyways, that's where we are, and that's where he is with this. And I'm so thankful that he had such good results and felt good the first time, because as soon as we got back from Japan, he's ready to get back on. So now I would say he is on about a, 95% carnivore diet?
Yeah, I'd say it's a modified carnivore.
Yeah.
And I may go back strict carnivore.
Because we were strict before, y'all saw. We didn't do any like cheeses and all of that stuff. We were just meat and water, and mostly
no milk,
red meat and eggs.
I didn't drink any milk. All the other stuff that you can eat on a carnivore diet, we didn't. We were very strict carnivore. And like you said, I may do that again as a tool in my tool belt. But my goal is to make improvements with my health, and then ultimately improvements that makes me make better decisions dietarily.
Yeah.
So I'm not, so I'm like a reset basically. And I'm good. Like I went over 10 years working construction. We take 9 o'clock break, and every break I'm eating either a blueberry Pop-Tart or a strawberry Pop-Tart for years.
A honey bun.
And it's people are like, don't you ever get tired of eating a Pop-Tart? Or don't you ever get tired of eating a ham sandwich? No. I'm a creature of habit. I'm going to eat the Pop-Tart every morning, and I'm fine with it. Same flavor Pop-Tart. It's good. The steak thing, I like steak. I like grilling steak. I like eating steak. I like the flavor, the texture. I like the feeling after eating it. So it's easy for me. I'll just eat a steak.
I will say for me though, since being off of carnivore, I have had some acid reflux again, which is so crazy because I never, the whole time that I was on carnivore, and I've been diagnosed with Barrett's esophagus, and I was on antacids for a long time. I weaned myself off of them, and that was a freaking nightmare, by the way. But the whole time that I was on carnivore, not a bout of acid reflux, no burping, no anything, if you know what I mean, like no tummy issues, feeling lean all the time, except for like the videos that I showed y'all where I was very full, but but I wasn't bloated. And I would wake up every morning, like, it just digested so well. Now, I wasn't going to the bathroom like when I have a high fiber diet, but the digestion aspect is so interesting, and how I don't believe we are carnivores. I believe we're omnivores. But no digestive issues. You had a little bit at first.
Yeah, a little
He had
bit.
the opposite issues as me, if you watched my videos.
Yeah, opposite.
But then it leveled.
But it leveled out back to normal. And it still is, which I actually expected the whole 2 weeks in Japan to really mess everything back up. And I'm basically going to have to start all over from scratch. But it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
It's like I never left.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Also, the weight thing for me was a bonus. What I was mostly shocked and surprised about was my blood pressure, and how, like, I hadn't been taking any of my blood pressure medication since the beginning of hunting season, and in very short time it improved significantly, like from red to yellow to green quickly, which I was excited about.
Yeah.
Because who wants to, nobody, I don't think anybody wants to have to be on a medication forever.
Yeah,
You
especially
always have
so
to take
young,
it.
too.
Yeah.
You're 42 years old.
And
I
I don't want to take a blood pressure medication for the rest of my life. I can't even remember to drink water, let alone take a pill.
That's how I feel about like omeprazole and Zantac and proteprazole, or all. I'm sure a lot of y'all are on that, because as soon as you have heartburn, that's the first thing that you get put on. But when you take that for long periods of time, there are side effects to it.
Have to be.
And like any medication. And so I do believe that if you have to take a medication to have a better quality of life long term, absolutely do it. But if there is another way, if there's a natural way, do that, because that's going to give you the better quality of life. So that's just how we're looking at it. And so now the goal is for him to have his ultrasound. It's scheduled for what month? August. So he's gotten to August, and the plan is if his gallbladder has improved or not progressed, it doesn't even actually have to improve. Just long as it has not progressed, he's going to go another 6 months carnivore-ish. I'm sure around the holidays he'll get a little loosey, a little bit, and keep going and see what can happen. Because a lot of people that do the carnivore lifestyle, or the professionals or whatever on here, they say you need to go at least a year or so. So as long as his gallbladder is not getting worse.
Yeah, if the polyps haven't grown in size, or I haven't accumulated more stones, then I'm satisfied. I'll keep going, because I don't know how long it's going to take. But as long as I'm not getting worse, it doesn't matter how long it's going to take.
Yeah, and the doctor told us, which you just never know what's accurate or not, to be honest with y'all. I second guess everything, but this is what he told us. He said that gallbladder cancer is rare, but when you do get it, when a person gets it, because he will not get it in the name of Jesus, and neither will anybody watching this, when a person unfortunately does get it, it's very fast and it's very aggressive. And he said he's never had a patient live past 6 months with it. So he made it sound like, but he's also the doctor that said, let's rip her on out of there. You'll have no side effects. Maybe a little rumbly in your tumbly for 30 days, but that's it. And I'm like,
I knew that didn't sound right.
I don't care what you have removed, whether it's your uterus and you're not going to have any more kids, like everything has some sort of side effect. You're removing an organ from your body, even if it's just like your tummy. I don't know.
Even if nobody can tell you what it does.
Yeah.
It's got to be doing something, or it wouldn't be in now.
Yeah, and I've read all kind of forums of people having their gallbladder removed, and some people have no issues after a certain months, and some people have issues forever, And so, like, doctor, give it to us straight. So at the end of the day, do I think that this is a good diet to try? I really do. I really do think it is. I can't recommend it to you watching this, because I don't know your health or where you're at, and I'm definitely not going to give any medical advice. But if it was my friend and they were curious, I would say, what is the harm? You can always stop. It's not like you're putting a medication in your body that you can't get out type of thing. Like, yes, I absolutely do think that it is worth trying. Will I ever go carnivore again? Yes, I actually do think that I will. Certain times of the year, maybe January, when I need to reset from the holidays, but I will not do it the way that I did it this last time. I mean, I went strict carnivore this last time. I went all in. Y'all saw just meat and butter and salt. I did not have any extra anything. When I do carnivore in the future, if I do a 30-day challenge or something like that, I will add in avocados, probably apples, maybe a banana, depending on my activity level. Because again, I am very active. I do think that a lot of people that I have seen online that talk about their carnivore experience live more sedentary lifestyles. Maybe they walk a bit, or maybe they, go to the gym a couple days a week in an air-conditioned gym and, do a little strength training. They're not pouring sweat like I am. They're not doing just yard work and becoming soaking wet like is a part of my lifestyle. I just don't live that type of life. So I look at carnivore now as like a tool in my belt instead of my lifestyle. When I go carnivore again, for whatever reason, I will add in those other carb sources that are whole food carb sources. And the last thing that I want to say is I wish so bad that I would have tried the carnivore diet before I had my hysterectomy in 2023. I thought that I tried everything, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I really prayed through the years that I was going through everything that I was going through. I tried what I believed was everything at the time, and I was at my wit's end. Is that little twinkle in my mind going, could I have held out a little bit longer? Yes, of course. But I do wish that I would have tried carnivore to see if it could have helped with my hormones before I had my hysterectomy. I was so exhausted, y'all. I had been through everything. I had my hysterectomy in October of 2023, and I had surgery to try to avoid the hysterectomy in April of 2023, which was also a very painful surgery. And I just felt like I just couldn't keep doing it. I couldn't keep having these surgeries to try to avoid it. But if I could go back and know then what I know now, I personally would have tried carnivore first. But I didn't know back then, and so I had my hysterectomy, and 2 years later, I am still grieving the loss of my uterus. So that is all that I have to say about that for now. If you have questions, let me know down below. Again, my husband is doing great. I didn't do so great. 2 different body types, 2 different lifestyles, 2 different experiences. And if you want to see anything else from me, if you want to see what I'm eating now, let me know down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.